Those hearings, General Dynamics denied that the payments to overseas consultants were bribes. Byron Harris, Channel 8 News.
Governor Mark White tonight denies his trip to Central America will help him at the polls next year. The governor returned from a tour of National Guard facilities this morning. Channel 8's Scott Pelley reports on the governor's trip, what it cost, and who paid for it.
Well, it's sure nice to be home.
This morning, Governor White was eager to put Central America behind him, but during a news conference, reporters persisted in questions about the motives for the trip. The governor was asked whether the publicity might help him in next year's election.
I don't know how many people that were in Honduras might vote in this election, but I did have one Republican down there come up and tell me he was going to vote for me next time, and I did leave him with an absentee ballot request.
The governor was on tour 3 days. Monday, he helped fly the C-130 cargo plane that carried his staff and reporters to Honduras. Tuesday, he reviewed Texas Guardsmen on training maneuvers near Nicaragua. And yesterday, he toured a National Guard engineering project in Panama. The Pentagon suggested the trip and paid the hefty transportation costs. 2 cargo aircraft cost more than $35,000 to operate, and helicopters cost more than $3,500. White insisted the money would have been spent on training anyway.
Every one of the individuals involved in that transportation effort is part of a training mission that they undergo throughout their annual training program.
That is true for all but the big C-130. A Guard spokesman says the plane was used only because of the governor, and all but one of its crew members were full-time guardsmen. They didn't need the flight time for proficiency training. The governor brought $1,400 worth of barbecue to the troops. That bill was paid with private donations. Whatever the total cost, White says the trip was worth it to boost Guard morale, ensure the safety of the troops, and show the public the Guard's mission is important. Scott Pelley, Channel 8 News.
And a little later on in tonight's broadcast, I'll give you my views of the governor's visit to Central America.
The court-ordered recount from last Saturday's election is finished tonight, but we won't know the results until tomorrow. The election officials counted more than 77,000 ballots over the past 2 days. Defeated candidate for Mayor Max Goldblatt and place 9 city council candidate James Garner claimed problems with the punch card ballots caused them to lose votes. Results have been tabulated into a final report. It will be submitted to the judge in the case tomorrow morning. There was a hot debate in Austin last summer when Texas lawmakers passed education reforms.
Today, the discussion was even more heated over an amendment to those reforms. Also, a Fort Worth college is staying in the neighborhood where it's been a fixture for almost a century.
And Troy lets us in on what kind of weather we can expect this weekend. Just ahead on the News 8 Update.
Following his wearying 3-day trip to Central America, he is insisting the journey did not have political overtones. Well, that's swell, Governor, if you say so, but the facts speak otherwise.
You say your trip was to boost the morale of the Texas contingent of National Guardsmen on exercise in Honduras. Well, you sent them down there, Governor, and on your visit you took a dozen reporters with you. So we saw Governor White reviewing the troops, Governor White providing morale-boosting barbecue, Governor White learning all about Honduras and Central America in quick study fashion. But let's not forget Governor White slumping in the polls. And Governor, we know you haven't forgotten next year is an election year. And the trip you took to Honduras with a quick sidestep to Panama was one Senator Phil Gramm turned down, saying it was too political for him. On top of the obvious political hay you made on the trip, Governor, you also insist no state money was used. Well, maybe not. But please don't forget, Governor, we Texans pay federal taxes too. And the cargo aircraft you used for the trip set the government back nearly $36,000. And frankly, that's money your various campaign funds should hastily reimburse. We do remember it was your campaign funding that picked up your barbecue feed for the Texans, but we also will remember the barbecue was purchased from an outfit in Valley View in which you have a major financial interest. The barbecue cost another $1,400.
It was political, Governor. It was costly. It was also unnecessary. And now you say you think you'll be taking further Central American trips. Well, if so, please do it on your own time and money. And we'll see if Texas voters can forget this little junket by the time we turn out to vote next year. And that's my perspective, John.
Tracy, the Dallas Mavericks are trying to snap out of a season-ending slump in Seattle tonight.
Dale will have highlights plus the answers to these questions. Will John McEnroe have another tennis tantrum at this week's WC?